Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Trading Bitcoin with King. This is not intended as financial advice. Please do your due diligence before making any decisions based off of this information. So we're going to go ahead and get started. We got a lot to go over today. So looking at the weekly chart, it's not looking good. You know, we talked about this 20-week moving average the other day, and we were obviously clearly rejected there. We are now back at the bottom of this triangle. It is getting very, very, very close to running out of time. Now, can we see a rebound back to the 65 area? Of course. Next week, yes, we can. And then maybe crash again then. But this triangle still has till, you know, end of October or so before we can say, you know, basically we have until the end of October where it could either break out or go down. But let's be real. The technical side of things, and I've been hearing a lot of people saying, you know, that the descending triangle, it could break up and this and that. Well, let's be real. The technical side says that this is a 70% chance it's going to break down. If you think this is going to break out, you're really not using your head right now. I don't see it happening at all. So at this point, we're at 61.96 on Coinbase. We fell, what, $500 in 3 minutes yesterday. It's not shocking. I mean, all the markets are down right now. Pretty much every market you can think of is down. Throughout the S&P 500, you know, all the way down through cryptocurrency, and you know, from there on, it's just falling and falling and falling and falling some more. So I believe that this is going to continue to drop. We may see a little bit of a rebound here. We've kind of held 62 for the last, you know, maybe 12 hours or so ever since we fell yesterday. So it's been a little less than that, but we've been holding that 62 area, but it doesn't seem to be holding very, very, very well. So let's see, you know, let's just watch and see what happens. I still expect it to fall. So let's just keep an eye on it, see where it goes. Let's move on down through the charts here. Our daily charts telling us, you know, and this is the thing, guys, I wanted to go over this with you with the sequential system. If you were using the sequential system on the daily chart, it told you to enter a short right here. Okay? So it told you to enter a short here. Let's see. Told you to enter a short right here. Let me change the color of that so you guys can see it. Okay. So it told you to enter a short right here on the sequential system. Red 2 under a red 1 told you to enter a short. If you entered this short, like most of us did, it crashed. And, you know, we've seen that coming. We've been calling it for days. This was going to fall. So that was my short entry. You know, I got all you guys in on that there, and we crashed. So that was a good short. And, you know, let's see what happens when we switch candles again. We're going to jump here pretty soon. We're going to jump from, you know what, let's see, 4 hours from now, we'll close this candle and we'll open up a new candle. If we continue to have a red 4 under a red 3, I'm shorting this again. I truly believe that this triangle is going to break down and break down soon. I don't expect it to hang out here much longer. Maybe throughout the rest of the month we play around in this triangle, but eventually it will break down. I mean, we can go back through many markets. It doesn't have to be crypto. It can be the S&P 500. It can be silver. It can be gold. It could be anything. And anytime you see this triangle, 9 times out of 10, or well, let's make it right, 7 times out of 10, 70% of the time, it breaks down. We clearly can't break up. There's so much resistance to get back up, guys. It's so much harder to go up than it is to go down. I just truly believe that this is about to crash. So keep that in mind. Your TSI is not quite oversold yet on the daily. You still have room to fall. So let's see what happens there. We're going to jump to the 12-hour chart. Awesome. So on the 12-hour chart, we are, again, you didn't quite get a red 2 under a red 1, so it didn't really give us a short trade here on this particular layout, but here's our short trade based off of the daily. Okay, so that's kind of what we've seen there. We did come down. We kind of have us a little spinning top going right here, right now. This candle closes in, again, about 4 hours, and we'll see what happens. But again, I expect us to crash. And I expect us to go here pretty soon. So I've been watching it. On your 12-hour chart, you are getting towards that oversold area, but it's not really there. I mean, we still have a little bit of room to fall. But I don't think that it will... I don't think that's going to affect us. I think we need to see the daily as well be oversold before we see any type of a decent rebound, if we get one. Because if they just sell off, if everybody just sells off, your TA doesn't matter at that point. If they decide to just sell and people sell, it's just going to crash. It doesn't matter what the TA says. So let's see where it ends up going. Okay, so again, looking at this is a dead cat bounce still. We are still kind of riding the 236 fib level, and we're not really going anywhere. So we've just kind of been hanging out here. We kind of got stopped completely sideways after this drop happened. So just keep an eye on that. Let's jump up to the 4-hour chart. So on the 4-hour chart again, you had a, if you look at the 4-hour chart and you want to trade it, again, you had a red 2 below a red 1. So again, here, if you wanted to trade a short trade short term, here's your entry. If you entered right there, which was, what is that at? 62.08. That's telling you to short at 62.08. Now, did it come back up and above? Yeah, but your swing high, which would be way up here, so I wouldn't use that, but I would use the top of this candle as my stop. Okay? That's where my stop would be. This is a risky trade. Okay? But that's where my stop would be at. Okay? And that's kind of the trade that I want to do now. I'm probably going to enter in again if it gets back to the 200 range. But again, we could see what happens. Now, entering this trade now is probably not the best idea. You don't ever want to enter anything after a 4 under a red 3. Doesn't make any sense. These are bad candles to try to trade on. So let's, you want to let the market come to you. And we'll just see from there. Expect it to crash to what levels then? Okay, yeah, so I'll go over that in just a second. I'll go back to the weekly chart and explain kind of what I expect to happen. More on where we will stop at. So we'll get back to that. Let me just get through these first, the rest of the time frames. So again, we're getting a red 6 under a red 5. There's a possibility that this may just fall. It's hard to tell. We've just kind of been sideways and we're riding the oversold mark on the 4-hour chart. So let's see. Let's kind of see where it goes. It's hard to tell. I mean, again, we're under all moving averages. There's really nothing holding this up besides maybe the bottom of the BB and the psychological support at 6K. That's it. So let's jump to the hour. On the 1-hour chart, we have a lot of price flipping going on here. Last night before I went to bed, this was an aggressive 13. And then the next candle, it came down, so it killed that. Now we're, kind of flipping again here. But we are starting to drop again. But we also have a little bit of resistance at this 236 fib level. So let's see what happens. If it falls, it falls. If it don't, it don't. But it'll just probably hang out here. But I expect, like I said, I expect us to drop. And right now it kind of looks like it's possibly about to go. The BB is squeezing here. The BB is squeezing the price big time. So a move is coming, and it may be down, and it may be right now. This always happens to me. It seems to happen right when we're in the middle of our live. We decide that we're going to crash or go back up, or something decides to happen. So let's see where it goes. Okay. I do have a little small short that I had opened up previously, just kind of playing with it. I opened it last night, and I've left it open, and we're kind of sitting in a little bit of profit right now. So let's just see where it ends up going. Again, we want to watch that. Okay. So let's go back again, and also on your TSI on the hourly, it's creating a lower high, and it is trending back in the wrong direction. So let's see what happens. And let's go back to the weekly chart to kind of help us decide what our targets could be. So looking at the weekly chart, okay, what I see is I see that we have our 100-day or our 100-week moving average is right here at 55.29. Okay, and then the bottom of your BB is at 56.85, and it's starting to open back up, guys, which means it's gonna start to expand. It's gonna open up. This is gonna drop more. So there's a chance that our first stop most likely will be the 6,000 to 5,900 range. Just because that's kind of what's been support. If you look at the triangle, the bottom of the triangle has been support, and that's at about 6,000, 6,100 to 6,000. So obviously we didn't just break right through it. We did get down to under 6,000 on some exchanges yesterday, but it did kind of rebound pretty quick. We got, you know, it jumped up, what, $200 pretty quick, and but now we're hanging there where there's no buy pressure, nothing's pushing it up. So I do expect it to continue to work its way down slowly but surely. But so anyway, that's the idea. And then the other problem we have is that, I mean, this is the Coinbase chart, so sometimes it's better to look at the Bitstamp chart. It just goes back a little farther. But either way, when you have a descending triangle, the rule of thumb is that the height of the triangle here, whatever 50% of that triangle is what this drop should be. If that happens, the target's 3,300. Okay, and it really makes sense. My other chart, for some reason, I didn't save it in the channel that I had drawn. We have a nice little channel coming back since like October 15, and there's a real good channel here that it followed all the way through. We are riding the top of that channel right now, and for tomorrow's video, I will get that on there. I will try to get that drawn back up on there. I just haven't had time. But I will definitely try to get that drawn back on there because we are sitting right there. And if you look at where the channel goes, the bottom of that channel, which has been very strong all the way back through pretty much the existence of Bitcoin, the bottom of that chart's right at the 200 MA, which is at that 3,000 mark, the 200-week moving average. So it is very possible. If you go back on the monthly chart, we have tested both this line and this line in the past. So for us to think that we're just not going to go back down and test it when we're in this perfectly built descending triangle is just ludicrous. I expect us to definitely test this 100 MA for sure. So I expect us to hit 55. Like I said, I don't think we go to 33. I've been saying this for months. I do expect us to at least test this 100 moving average on the weekly. I really expect that to happen. When is it going to happen? I don't know. The longer it takes, the higher that number is up. But the other thing that's possible is this doesn't have to break down. We can stay sideways for 6 months. And if that happens, then yeah, you know, I'll go bullish. Definitely. But at this point in time, I'm still super, super bearish at this point. And if you look at the weekly, we have a lot of room we can go down. So let's just kind of play it by ear. Let's watch it. Let's not get too adamant about it. Let's not freak out yet. But I do expect us to easily test that 5,000 to 5,500 mark at some point. And it could be soon. You know, it could be really soon. Hell, it could be tomorrow. It could be today. It just depends on, you know, what happens with the market. So let's keep an eye on it. That's kind of what I see happening. I expect us to test that 5.5 mark. Now, you know, a few months back when I was still really bullish here in this area, when we had the inverse head and shoulders and we broke out and, you know, we did jump above that little bit of a descending triangle that we had at that point. We broke above it for a very small amount of time, and I have that chart. I can show you. Let's see here. I think it's on this one. Nope. Nope. Oh, no. It's not on that chart. Dang it. I think this was the chart where I had the channel on it and it didn't save. Yeah, see, this is the stamp chart. So there's that 200-week moving average was right at 3K. And if you look at it, the fib levels that I have drawn here on this chart from the drop to the all-time high on the fib levels telling you that we could easily go back to 3,000. And that's right at that mark. So keep that in mind. Again, this has been, out of this drop here, you know, we have been playing a dead cat bounce the entire time. So this has not been bullish at all when you look at the larger time frames. Nothing bullish about it. The other thing that we need to pay attention to is there's a chance that we get a red 2 starting next week on Sunday or Monday, a red 2 beneath the excuse me, beneath a red 1. Now last week, this chart's just a little different because it's Bitstamp, but now right here, when you got here, or wait, where was it at? Right here. See, you had this massive fall from 85 to about 6,800, okay? And then we fell again, which price flipped and gave us the red 1. Now we did get a red 2 under a red 1, but the previous 2 weeks were telling you not to short this, not do it. This is too much of a fall, too fast for us to be safe in this trade. But over here, now I'm looking at it and we're slowly falling. If this price flips to a red 2 under a red 1, there is a very good chance that that 3,000 target is possible. Okay, and it's possible either way, but I still expect us to most likely stop at the 100-week moving average. So that's kind of the answer. The long answer for your question is that I think that we will stop probably around 55. We may wick under that, obviously, and you know, we'll see where it goes. But this is when I become bull. If we hit 55, I'm longing for sure. But until then, it's just a bear market, guys. Let's not fight the trend. Let's just enjoy shorting it and, you know, taking our time. Okay? So that's that. The other thing I wanted to get into with you guys today was, I just wanted to go over was the Yobit pump. Man, I know you guys seen this. They had a Yobit had put out there that they were gonna pump a coin. Very shocking to hear from an exchange, but they said, hey, we're gonna pump this coin, and they did it. They did it this morning, 1,200%. So, you know, the ETF stuff, we've been talking about it the last few weeks, the last few months, obviously. And at this point, I think that the SEC's packing up their bags. They're done looking at an ETF for this year. So let's just wipe that off the charts. It's not going to happen. After that went out yesterday, so many people tagged the SEC enforcement in that. I just don't see any way the SEC is going to approve an ETF when you've got a major, well, not a major exchange, but a decent sized exchange putting it out there that they're pumping coins. Like, it's crazy. It's unheard of. It's just crazy that they even did that. It really blows me away that that was said and that was put out there. Let me check something else. The other thing I wanted to look at was Ether. Let's take a look at Ether. So again, Ether's price flipped again. Okay, it never had a. This is the weekly chart. It's price flipped. You got a red 1. If we get a red 2 under a red 1, let's short Ether to 0. That's where it's going. You know, Ether is in big trouble. It's not looked good for weeks and weeks and weeks. Let's look at the 4-hour. See if there's any good trades on the board. So, yes, there is. So, again, here you go. You have your red 1, okay? You got your red 2 under your red 1. Again, this is a good chance to short Ether right here, okay? Bam. You had your red 2 under your red 1. Now, that's where you'd want to short at. Now, did it obviously continue to come back up and rebound? It did. So this, you would have had your stop set here, so you're probably not out yet. You're still in this position. And it may end up paying off. Again, most of the time, this ends up paying off. I've shown you guys many examples of the sequential system being pretty damn accurate when it comes to short-term and mid-term trades. The only thing that worries me on the Ether chart is that we did close a few candles outside of the BB, but the BB is still expanding. So, and again, we're below all moving averages We're not quite oversold anymore on the 4 hour. So again, Ether is primed for another fall. Again, on the 1 hour, it kind of looks like the BitMEX or the Bitcoin chart. If this becomes a green 2 under a green 1, short it. It's probably going to pay off. It's most likely going to pay off. Again, on the hourly chart, you're not oversold at all. You have plenty of room to fall. So let's just keep that. Again, the BB is pinching as well on Ether. It's starting to pinch the price, and you're below the you're below the BB bias. There's a chance again that this is getting squeezed down. So just keep an eye on that. So I know a lot of you guys are ready to switch over to Deribit. Deribit's where it's at. I've been messing with it for about a week now, and it is so nice being able to get in and out of positions as I please. BitMEX has just been real tough on their customers the last few weeks. I mean, yesterday, right when it fell, everything shut down. If you're tired of it, you're sick of it, in the link or in the channel information, there is a link to sign up for Deribit. You'll save 10%. And I can go over that if you guys want. I can go over some of how to use Deribit and stuff like that. I told a few people yesterday that I was going to do this live and kind of go over some of how to use Deribit. It's a little different, guys. It's not the same. It is a cross-only site, but there is ways to mitigate that. So I'll jump over to Deribit here in just a minute, but I did want to show you guys a few things. If you guys want to support us, if you guys like what we do, sorry. If you guys like what we do and stuff, you guys can check out our affiliates page. Any of these things that you guys click on, sign up for, just helps us out with our free content. If you go to our website, click on Start Thriving, there's a spot in here that says affiliates, and you can sign up for a few different things. There is more to come. You know, we are going to have a few more things added on here, but here's the Deribit link if you want to do that. Again, it is 10% off. Also, if you are trading stocks, which I don't know if anybody is today, but Robinhood is an awesome app. It's free. If you guys sign up with Robinhood and you're a US user only, we will both get a free stock, so it's pretty cool. So this is how you guys can help support us outside of our Telegram channel and other things, but this is a way you guys can do that, so that'd be awesome. Let's jump over to Deribit. Let's check it out. So let's, let me pull it over here real quick, guys. Alright, so here's Deribit, and I'm going to go ahead and switch off to a sub account. Okay, so with Deribit, guys, this is kind of what the Deribit platform looks like. Obviously, it's not as user-friendly as BitMEX is, but they are working on it. They are doing very well, and even their customer service. Yesterday, I was in their chat. They had a bug in a certain time zone, and they refunded the guy like double the money that he lost in 5 minutes. That's what I call support. BitMEX would never do that. So that's what I call support. So anyway, I'm looking at this here, and it's basically the same. If you want to look at the charts, the futures charts is right here. Okay, it's under the futures charts tab, and this is the chart. It's very small. You can expand it, but it takes up the whole page. It just goes into full to full screen mode. So just keep an eye on that, but that's kind of what that does. The indicators and stuff on their internal chart here don't work very well right now. They're waiting on TradingView to finish implementing the rest, because when you're in an open position, it's not like BitMEX where you can move your positions up and down or cancel or anything like that on the chart. But it is coming, so they're also bringing Ether, Dodge, and I believe Bitcoin Cash is coming as well in Q4. So they are trying to expand. But again, everything is basically the same as BitMEX. They don't have a like take profit or trailing stop or anything like that at the moment. And again, remember, it is only cross only. So the way you can mitigate cross is you can mitigate cross by creating as many sub-accounts as you want. Okay, you can create as many sub-accounts as you want. You can't withdraw from the sub-accounts, but you can transfer between all of your accounts anytime, instantly, which is pretty cool. So if you want to, for an example, if you want to have a position at 10 times, let me just go back real quick. the contracts at Deribit are $10 instead of $1. So for a 10,000 contract position, you only need 1,000 contracts. Okay, for a 20,000 contract position, you need 2,000 contracts, and so forth and so on. So if you wanted to mitigate your leverage, what you would do is you would make a sub account, okay, which is really easy to do. You would create a sub account and you would fund that account with whatever you wanted to do. Okay, so if you wanted to, for instance, say, if you wanted a position of $1,000 using 10 times leverage, you should put $100 worth of BTC into a sub account, okay, and then you buy your position at 1,000 contracts and you just let it go. That's your 10 times leverage. Your liquidation will correspond with how that works. So that would give you 10 times leverage versus 100 times leverage or 80 times leverage or a running as cross. So that's how you can mitigate it, and it's pretty cool because you can trade multiple positions on the same contract. You're not stuck with, with BitMEX where you got to open 5 accounts to trade the same thing. You can just do this all in the same place. You can have 15 open positions on the same contract, which is pretty cool. So that's kind of how that works. I also do have a link for an external chart. I can show that to you guys right now. This is the external chart. I have it up, which is cool. I just found out about this, so I got this, and this makes life easy. So now I have the actual chart that I can work with versus working with their little baby chart. Okay, so that's kind of how it works. That's it. Down here is where your positions will come up, what your open orders are, your stop markets. This will give you your order history, your trade history, and so forth and so on. Okay, if you come up here to the top, you got your index chart. Okay, Deribit uses Bitstamp, GDAX, Gemini, ItBit, and Kraken for their index. And what they do is they take the highest and the lowest price and they cut it out, and they use the 3 middle prices. BitMEX has been disconnected, thank God, because their price is ridiculous and it was holding up a lot of the price. But it's gone now, and they're not going to use it anymore. They talked about it. It's a premium, and they're done with it. So BitMEX will be coming off, which is cool. So it'll just be Bitstamp, GDAX, Gemini, ItBit, and Kraken. So that's kind of where you get that's where you get your index from. Okay. They do have a few futures contracts as well as the perpetual. As well as the perpetual contract. Okay, they are adding Ether, Dodge, and I believe Bitcoin Cash in Q4. They're working on getting it done. So that is pretty cool. So that's basically how Deribit works. There's really not much to it. Obviously, the things that do suck is it's not as user friendly, but it works. And it's not only that it's not as user friendly, but it doesn't have some of the features that BitMEX does at the moment. But again, good things come in due time, so let's just wait it out. Let's not worry about that too much. I do expect that to work out. Again, also with Deribit, you can trade Bitcoin options, which is cool. So Bitcoin options are pretty cool. They've got many different contracts. If you haven't traded options before, I would recommend reading into it definitely before you try. It's really cool to be able to use options to hedge against your position. If you're short, then you can hedge it with a put. You could hedge it with a call. And basically, if it doesn't work out for you, if your short don't work out, at least you don't lose. You can get out of your short and make money on your call. Okay, and vice versa. You just got to make sure you choose the right contract. You don't want to choose something that expires in 11 hours if you don't know what's going to happen. So just make sure it's something you need to dig into. I am doing a tutorial. I'm working on it for BTC options. I'm also working on one for Deribit. So it's going to take me a little bit of time to get those all edited and published, but it is something that I am working on. I'm trying to get it out there for you guys, and maybe I can do it live, maybe do 2 or 3 live, or maybe do 2 lives or something like that tomorrow, and strictly just go over BTC options. But that's something we'll get into a little later. I'm kind of running out of time today, but either way, that's something we can get into. On the futures contracts, again, that's kind of what we went over that. It's not that hard. If you guys have any questions, please PM me on Telegram. I will help you guys out. If I have to screen share with you or whatever it is to help you guys out, I can do that. So just let me know. Okay. So that's kind of just a little little quick overview of Deribit. If you go over here to Future Summary, this is just going to give you your summary based on your account, whatever one you are in. Okay, same thing with Option Summary. Futures chart is going to tell you what's going on. Excuse me, guys. Sorry. It's going to just tell you guys kind of what's going on. And it's going to give you your chart and your buy and sales, and they're always there. They also do have an app that's direct through the API, which is cool. The API, so their app works directly through API, so it's very fast and it's very accurate. Okay, and that's the one great thing that I've loved about Deribit. The best thing about Deribit is that you can get in and out, and there's no issues. There's no overload. There's nothing like that. So it's really awesome, man. I got in and out of this position easy yesterday. No questions asked. Everybody's complaining on BitMEX that they don't have it balanced. They can't do this. They can't do that. And we're sitting here in profit. So if it was me, I mean, I'm not going to tell you guys what to do or how to do it. But if it was me, I would definitely be thinking about switching over to Deribit. Okay. Again, so it still looks like we may look like a fall's coming here. Let me go back really quickly to the chart. Again, here's your chart on the Deribit chart. Broke down that little baby triangle. Let's see what happens. I'd like to see us break this 2368 or the 236 fib level and see what happens. Nick, yeah, Nick, it is crypto only. You don't need a one broker situation. Nope, it's strictly crypto only on Deribit. And again, like I said, they are bringing Ether and Bitcoin Cash and Dodge options and futures really soon. It's supposed to happen this quarter, so I'm hoping for it to happen soon. And once it does, we'll go over those as well. Again, like I said, guys, I'm here to help. If you guys have any questions, just, again, you can PM me on Telegram or on Twitter. Either way, I'm here for you guys. Let me know. If you guys have any questions on the price, again, you can always ask me there. Check us out in our group. Just ask questions. We're always there to help. The Telegram link is also in the channel. If you're not in our Telegram group, it's in the channel information and in the video information. So, all right, guys. I mean, I think I got through most of it today. If you guys have any questions, I can do a quick Q&A. If you guys have any questions or anything you want me to take a look at, please ask them. I'll give you guys a few minutes. Also, again, if you guys are trading the stock market, do not buy the dip yet. Wait until we see some type of a rebound or a good sign that it will rebound. Do not mess with it yet. Don't trade it yet. It's not going to happen. So I would stay away from it at the moment, unless you're trading pot or weed stocks. They seem to be doing pretty well right now, and they're probably on a discount price, so I would definitely be buying those, but that's about it. Alright, guys, well, I don't see any questions coming in, so I'm going to go ahead and call it a day. Again, please check out our affiliates links. That does help us out. It helps support our content. And we will catch back up with you guys tomorrow. You guys have a good day.